Hi everyone, it is time for another Empties video, and as always I have my Empties right here with me. These are all the products I finished up in February, however that does not necessarily mean I started using them in February. And when I say that, I am thinking about specific items which I will go into as I go over my Empties with you. For starters, let's maybe go with the more boring products like hand lotions. I finished the Origins Make a Difference Rejuvenating Hand Treatment. This has been in my collection for quite a while. It's not cruelty free, so I decided to put this in my project, use it up for 2016, and it is completely gone now. I cut this open, put this in a separate container, finished that one up, so it is now empty. Then I also finished up another hand lotion. It is my Florina hand lotion with olive oil. This is just a small travel size, and I actually may have another one with me, or I pass this along. I'm not entirely sure. But this was quite nice. I like that this is a very small tube, so it was easy to just put this in my purse and carry with me whenever I was out and about, and I could just apply this as needed. But there was not too much left in here, so I'm glad this is finally done. And the last hand lotion was my Balea Urea hand lotion. This is actually a hand lotion that I've been using for quite a while. It is a bigger tube. It has 100 milliliters, so this is roughly what, 3.3 fluid ounces, give or take, if I'm not mistaken. And I've had this sitting at my nightstand for probably a year, if not longer. So this is how old this was. It was time for this to be used up finally, and I have finally achieved this. I most likely have another one of this at home. If not, it is definitely something I would repurchase. Balea is cruelty free. This product itself is, as far as I know, not vegan, in case you're wondering. But all in all, this is just a very good hand lotion for when you notice your hands are starting to get a little bit drier. If I use this, usually within a day or two, everything is back to normal. Then I also used up some bath products, and the first one is my Balea Cream Oil Shower Gel with vanilla. This is very nice. I had this in my project, use it up as well, because I want to go through some of my shower gels and body lotions. I just have been collecting too many, so I decided that it was time to actually work on them. This is very nice. I would definitely repurchase this. And I just like the way that it smells like vanilla, but it's not too heavy of a scent. So it is a product I would definitely repurchase, especially with the cream oil combination. It is very moisturizing, but it doesn't leave a sticky film on your skin. Then I finished up a body lotion. This is the Allergica Lipolosia Urea 5% F. This was actually recommended to me by my dermatologist when I had perioral dermatitis back in 2012, I believe, and this will last as long. Now the thing is, my dermatologist recommended me for me to actually use this in my face. I did this, and the interesting thing was that while this is a very thick lotion and it takes a bit to sink in, it did not mess too much with my makeup. So that was quite impressive, but I ended up using this one up by just using it all over my body, so that I could move this out of my collection. As far as I know, this is actually cruelty free, but I'm not 100% sure. I only found this on like 2 of the lists that I checked. The others did not talk about this in either of the sections they had, so I'm not 100% sure. Either way, I probably would not repurchase this just because it lasted a long time and I have too many other body lotions at the moment anyway. Then let's continue with face products. The first one I have is a little bit crumpled up, and I don't know if I can make this. Yeah, maybe that way. So this is an Alverdi product, and I've been using Alverdi for quite a while now. Alverdi is not only cruelty free, but many of their products are also vegan, as is this one here. This is my wash cream with clay, which I like a lot. The downside is that many of these products actually contain alcohol, and I'm just checking to make sure. This is alcohol, but on the last couple places in the ingredients list, so this is not too bad. I like this a lot because this helps my skin be a bit more balanced and for me to not break out as much. And if I have breakouts, I feel like this does a good job at making sure the breakouts go away a lot faster. So this actually is a brown paste, as you can see right here. It is very, very pasty, so you can probably use this as a mask as well. I've never tried this, but I'm pretty sure that this might work as a mask as well, just because of the texture of the product. The downside is that if you get it in your hair, you have to really clean out your hair properly, or else you have bits of the product stuck in there. So this is something you might want to keep in mind, but all in all, I like this product a lot. Then I also used up the facial tonic from the same line, also from the clay line. This is also cruelty-free and vegan. The downside is that on the second position of the ingredients list you have alcohol listed, which I consider a big problem because I don't want to use too much alcohol in my skincare routine. The thing with this is that it is probably the only product that I know and have tried so far that is cruelty-free, vegan, and works with my skin. I will probably have to see if I can maybe find a better product in the future, but for the time being this is what I'm going with because I don't have the time to really research because I'm just too busy with university and all that. So this is something to keep in mind if you want to try this out. The alcohol level is quite high, but all in all, what I have to say is they actually reformulated this just recently, and this is still the old texture, and they always say on top of the bottles that you are supposed to shake them well, because the clay actually sinks towards the bottom, and when you shake it, you mix it back in. Now, with the old formula, it was quite gritty, which is why I was only using this in the evenings. I did not want to apply my makeup over this because it just didn't feel right to put this gritty texture on, and then when I applied, for example, my primer, I would actually notice the grittiness still being on my skin when I was putting on the primer with my fingers, so I was only using this one in the evenings. This is gone now. The new texture, the new formula is actually it doesn't have the grittiness that this one still had. It is a lot smoother when you apply this with a cotton pad. So it's quite nice, and I'm still trying to see if it has changed anything about the way this works for me as well. Now, as I'm only using this one in the evenings, I have this one here. This is another Averti product. This is their Aqua Facial Tonic with sea algae. This is for normal and combination skin, whereas this one here says it is for skin that has issues with like black spots and with zits and all that. So this was my morning go-to. This is also cruelty-free and vegan, but once again, the problem with this one is that on the second point in the ingredient list actually is alcohol. So once again, it's not too good for you, but this one I felt like just helped me refresh a little bit in the morning. I probably could have just gone with the wash cream instead of using this, but I have to try this out still, so I'm going to probably use a month or two when I'm not as stressed to just go with the wash cream. Now this, all in all, is quite nice, but the scent is... It smells very much like the sea, like seawater, and this might be off-putting to some. For me, it was okay. I like being at the water, but it's something to keep in mind. But all in all, the interesting thing, by the way, is that these bottles are different sizes. This is 150 milliliters. This is 200 milliliters. Now, price-wise, it is actually pretty much the same as far as I remember, but... But it is quite interesting to know that this one just has quite a bit more product in the bottle. Then to take my makeup off in the evening, I have an eye makeup remover without oil with aloe vera. This is the Balea eye makeup remover. This is actually also cruelty-free, and I think this is doing a good job. It is not as good as the oil, the eye makeup remover that I had from Revolve Loop that contains oil actually, but it is doing an okay job to remove eye makeup when it's not a heavy eye look, and I actually have repurchased this one already. Now, it doesn't last too long because you need a bit more product to actually really get the mascara removed, for example, but it is quite nice. I just really soak my cotton pad with it and then put this on my eyes and let it soak in very well, and then I can just remove it with a few quick wipes. So it is a product I would possibly repurchase even after the second bottle is gone, but that also has to do with availability, because the Revolve Loop eye makeup remover that I really like a lot is just much harder for me to get a hold of. So this is the Bolea eye makeup remover, and then to remove the rest of my facial makeup I often use this one here. This is the Bolea Made Ultra Sensitive Wash Gel. This does not contain any perfumes, colors, or any conservatives. So I can't find any alcohol on this ingredient list here, which I think is very good, because this says that it's actually tested and it's supposed to be good for people who may react allergic to certain ingredients and certain products. So I'm glad to say that this apparently does not contain alcohol. I like using this to remove my makeup because I think it really does a good job. If I go over my skin afterwards with a wet cotton pad, for example, with my tonic, with my facial toner, then there's no residue of my makeup that I can find. So this is really doing a good job, and I would definitely repurchase this. Right now I'm trying a different product which comes in a packaging that is a bit more customer friendly, I find, because it comes in a pump dispenser and you can just refill the pump dispenser. But all in all, this is a product I would definitely repurchase if the other product that I'm trying right now does not do as good a job. Then I have another eye product, and this is my Alverdi Anti-Aging Q10 Vitamin Eye Serum with Goji Berries. This is for skin from 30 and older. So you can see this is something that is supposed to help with fine lines and the likes, and supposed to help regenerate the skin around your eye. My really only disappointment with this product is that this small tube, and I like that it comes with a pump dispenser here, so you can really always get the same amount of product out. This is used up within a month if you use this morning and evening as it is recommended. So that to me is quite a disappointment. Price wise it is okay. It's definitely not an issue that you have to repurchase this every single month then, but you just have to remember to repurchase this, and you have to actually know this up front, because with the pump dispenser you don't know when you run out of this product. For me, this actually happened in a morning, I think even on the weekend, so I couldn't repurchase it. I thought I had still plenty left, but I didn't. And this is my one downside of this product, because other than that I quite liked it. It probably didn't hydrate my eyes as much as I would have liked, but it did a good job. This is once again cruelty free, but it's not vegan, this particular product. Now this leads me to another skincare product actually, which I apparently forgot, and it is my konjac sponge. This is a black one, which I believe is supposed to help clear up your skin. I've had this around for a lot longer than you're supposed to keep the konjac sponges around for, but I haven't used this on a regular basis. I always let this dry completely in between uses, and as I kept this in a clean space, I figured it would be good for a bit longer than the, I think, month or 3 months that it's recommended for you to keep them. This was a very gentle exfoliator. The idea behind konjac sponges is they are a sponge, so a plant in the sea, I believe in Japan, which when it's dry it is very hard, but then you let it soak in water for let's say, I think on my new sponge they recommend to let it soak for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then it is completely plumped up. It is a lot bigger than this, and you have a gentle exfoliator at your hand. It is supposed to really have benefits for your skin which I'm not sure if I noticed, but then again I didn't use this one as often as I probably should have. So the recommendation is that you use this every day. But all in all, I like this a lot because it is a natural product that does a very good job, and it comes, as you can see, by the way, it comes with a little band that is just stuck through here, and then you can just hang it up to let it dry. You don't have to put it down anywhere. What I would do, I just have a clothes hook in my bathroom. I would just hang this on there and let it dry, and I would be good. So I like these a lot, and like I mentioned, I have another one at home. The new one is actually a green one with green tea, as far as I know. So I'm definitely going to try and use the other one on a more regular basis to see if this really does anything for me. But what I can say is that I like using this both with and without a cleanser. I have used this with, well, not with this one, with an older one. And that works very well because it foams up a bit more, I feel. But you can also use this on its own when it's just wet, and it is a very, very nice product. So I can only recommend you try these if you can get a hold of them. I know there are some out there that are a bit more expensive. There are also brands that make them available to you for a very affordable price. The current one that I have is actually from our drugstore store brand. So I think I paid, what, €3, €4, something like that. So it wasn't too much, I feel, for a product like this. And it is really all natural, so that is a good thing. Then I used up two of these. This is my Bath & Body Works pocket bag in Japanese Cherry Blossom. This is an antibacterial hand gel, and I'm not sure if they really do too much, but for me it is, I feel a bit better after I have been to the, in the subway and on the bus and the train and all that, if I can just quickly clean my fingers at least a little bit and have some alcohol on there, which might sound odd, but all in all, I just find it very gross if I touch my food afterwards. So if I go in with that, I feel a little bit better at least. So yeah, I used up two of these. The second one is actually I think still in my back, in my jacket pocket, which I need to take out later today. But I used this up. It's not cruelty free, so I won't repurchase these. I have to see if I can find another alternative. And that, I believe, leaves us with makeup and beauty products in a more general way. So the first product I would like to talk about is my Essence Nail Art Nail Polish Remover Ultra. I have used this one up completely, and this one went fairly quickly. The thing is that it says it's a nail polish remover ultra, but I tried using this with glitter polish and it didn't do a too good job with that. But then I was using it with just quite a few layers of nail polish, and that really helps a lot to get this off in a fairly quick manner. This is actually a nail polish remover that does not contain any acetone, so this is quite good, but what I disliked is that you just need a lot of product, I feel, to remove the nail polish. So I'm not sure if I would necessarily repurchase this if I could find it. I would probably see if I can find other nail polish removers first that maybe do a better job, or at least last a bit longer. Then I used up my Maybelline brush cleanser. This is another drugstore line that is cruelty free, and the issue I have with this is that it has a quite strong scent which lingers in your brush hair. So if you don't like the scent, you definitely want to steer clear of that. It just lingers for quite a while. But it's doing a good job at quickly cleaning your brushes so that you can use them within maybe 10 minutes. So if that is what you want, this is definitely a good product. It is quite affordable, and depending on how dirty your brushes are, you don't need to use a whole lot to clean them up again. I use this all the time. I think I currently have the backup of this one in use, and then I have a backup for that again. So you see, I quite like using this on a regular basis because it really breaks up the makeup. It's not doing as good a job as other more expensive brush cleansers. But all in all, this is definitely a product I would repurchase because I am willing to put in a tad bit more of an effort if I can save that much money. For comparison, this is 100 milliliters and I paid 3 or 4 euros again. I have the MAC brush cleanser, which I believe is 150 to 200, so either 1.5 times this or twice this, and I paid 15 euros. So price-wise, you still quite have a bargain at your hand with this. Then I finished up 2 perfumes in the past month. Now this sounds like a lot, but they were already fairly low when it comes to the product that was left, so it probably was to be expected. The first one is my Empties Rouge perfume. I like this a lot. This is probably my go-to perfume for fall and winter because it's a very nice scent. It is not too strong and it's not too heavy, but it's still one of the heavier scents that I have in my collection. It is just a very nice warm scent, I feel. And I'm not good at describing scents, so I'm going to leave it at that, honestly. But what I can say is that I'm still trying to find a good dupe, or at least something that is very close to this, because Empties, the perfumes, are not cruelty-free, and so I'm not going to repurchase this, but I would like to have a scent that is relatively similar. That would be my goal. So I finished this one up, and then the other perfume that surprised me a little bit was my Betty Barclay Pure perfume. It surprised me because there was a lot more left, honestly. Like I was at this line when I started using this. So while it tapers down at the bottom and in both directions, I think I used up as much as I did because I had to apply this during the day, and I had to repeatedly apply this during the day for at least once or twice if I wanted to have the scent linger for the rest of the day. I'm not sure if this had to do with the fact that I've had this perfume around for so long, but having to reapply this during the day just meant I used up more as I went along. So this is a very, very soft, powdery scent on top of that, and I absolutely love this. This is a very nice scent. It was my go-to, my signature scent almost for quite a while. Maybe 2 years back, 3 years back, but then I stopped using it, and I still like this a lot, but once again I wouldn't repurchase this because, as far as I could find out, this is not cruelty free. Then before I come to the actual makeup products, I have a few products I am decluttering, and for one is my Bare Minerals matte foundation in the shade Fairly Light. I mentioned this before because I have lightened this up and I ended up having extra product. Now I feel like this is making me break out, so I'm not going to reuse this. I'm just going to throw this out because it's not worth it for me if I break out over and over again. So I'm decluttering this as well as these 2 extras. Then I am also decluttering my sample of the MAC pigment in, I believe this is Tan or Champagne, I don't know. Now, my problem with this is, and I don't know if it has to do with the fact that I've had this for quite a while and I just didn't want to use this up completely, but it does not stick to my eye base anymore. So I have fallout not only all over my face, but also all over my glasses. So this is just not really an option for me. I would like to have my glasses stay clean and not be completely dirty with my eyeshadow, even with a pigment. And the other product I am decluttering is my Maybelline Color Tattoo in, I believe this is Bold Gold. Now, my issue with this is that it does not work as a base anymore. I used to be able to actually use this in place of an eye base and just have a bit of color on my eyelids that I could then add other colors to without them creasing, but this actually makes my eyeshadow crease within less than half a day. So I'm decluttering this. I don't feel a point in I don't see the point in using this on top of another eye base because from what I believe these actually work as bases as well, and the other colors I have and had worked as bases too, so I'm decluttering this. Now this leads me to the products that are actually makeup products that I have finished. For one, I have 2 foundations, and I was a little bit surprised about this because the one foundation really surprised me. I thought I had a lot more left. But for starters, I have the Revlon Photo Ready Foundation in 001 Ivory. This is not a foundation I would repurchase even if it were cruelty-free, because this does not go well with my skin type. Now, I have combination oily skin, and this just always sat on my skin. It never really melted into my skin. It never really worked well with my skin in that way. So it is not really a foundation I would repurchase, but if you have drier skin, this might be something you want to try out, just because it might work well for you. The other foundation that really surprised me, because I thought I had a lot more product left in it, is the Catrice Even Skin Tone Beautifying Foundation in the shade 005 Even Ivory. I thought I had much more left in here because I started using this late last summer, and then I took a break because I wanted to use up other products, because Catrice is, as far as I know, cruelty-free. So I went with other products and used these up, and apparently I was mistaken. I had product for about a week and a half or 2 left. So this is now completely done. I'm a bit upset about it because it is all in all quite a nice foundation, but it is also very thick. So it didn't work well with my beauty sponge. I would really only apply this with a buffer brush. Then I finally used up my MAC Eye Kohl in I Get No Kick. I'm very happy that this is finally done, because this took me, it felt like ages. This is a champagne shade that I used for my waterline only, and this is probably why it took me so long to use it up, but I'm glad it is gone. As nice as it is, it just, I don't think it really stayed on my waterline the entire day. So yeah, I didn't get the point. And then I also used up my Wet n Wild Coverall pressed powder in the shade Fair. This was a very nice powder, and I actually hope to repurchase this eventually. Right now I can't, because the store that used to carry Wet n Wild here actually closed down, so I'm not going to be able to get a hold of that anymore, but in the future I hope that I will get that again. And what I liked about this is that this was finally a powder that had a bit of a tint to it. So this was not a translucent powder, but it worked very well for my skin tone, and that is something that happened very rarely. Often enough, they are pretty much almost always, actually. They just are too dark for me, those tinted powders. So this was a very nice product. And finally, I also used up 2 eyeshadows. They were only eyeshadows in pans. I did not depot them. I just purchased them in the pans only. The first one was my MAC eyeshadow in All That Glitters. This is a champagne color, a bit darker than the I Get No Kick Eye Kohl, and this was actually a quite nice eyeshadow shade, but it was maybe a hint too cool toned for me, but I could make it work easily, so it's nothing that makes me too upset. But this is not cruelty free, so I have to say I'm glad it is finally out of my collection. And then the other eyeshadow I used up is my Coastal Scents Hot Pot in M07, or Oatmeal Tan. This was an orangey brown shade, a mid-tone brown that worked very well as a transition and crease shade, depending on how much I build it up. So this was a very nice shade, and from what I could find out, Coastal Scents apparently is actually cruelty-free, which I did not know until recently. I believe Mary told me that. Mary from Reviewer's Diary. I'm going to link her channel down below. So I'm very happy that I have found a very good shade that I can use as a crease shade and a transition shade. But I think I have other shades that work fairly similarly, so I'm not going to repurchase this anytime soon. But if you're looking for a shade like that, that is a bit more versatile, and you are as pale as me or maybe a bit darker, try the Coastal Scents Hot Pot in Oatmeal Tan, because this was a very nice eyeshadow. So this was it for my empties for February. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would appreciate it if you left me a thumbs up. If you want to let me know what you used up, or if you have used any of these products yet, please leave a comment. I would very much appreciate it. I'd love to hear this. And if you want to see more of my videos, then please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will see you guys soon. Bye!